Okay, we're live. Well, I don't know why I'm like, welcome to office hours. I think it's been a little while since we've done an episode. I've been busy, Sto's been busy. Like the things that actually make us good at what we do here is what we've been doing in the real world. But we're back. Welcome to office hours, where we provide practical advice for independent artists. I'm Nora here with Sto, and today we're talking about going viral.
Yes.
I've been really excited to talk about because I think there's so much like myth and excitement and false hope and all these things. Yeah, so welcome back to Office Hours. I haven't seen you in this way in a long time.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? We really appreciate you coming through. Like Nora said, we've been just actually like putting in work and stuff like that. We actually had this episode planned out almost like a month and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were both kind of surprised that we hadn't covered this just yet. But we think it's extremely important to go over and give some strategies on the different angles of virality. Excuse me. But yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know if you've gone viral before. Let us know what that experience is like. I think it's different for everybody. And yeah, we want to hear what you all have been going through. So.
And as always, those of you who are here live, this is interactive. Drop your comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Ask any questions that you have. We'll answer them in real time. And if you're watching this after the fact, we always read our comments. So feel free to share questions in the chat. But subscribe, share it with a friend. Going viral. Where do you want to start, Sto?
Maybe the definition, I guess, is best. Because I think I personally have a slightly different definition than I think what Webster says or whatever. So at least based on what Webster says is that going viral is when you have essentially 100,000 combined likes, retweets, views, stuff like that. I personally think it's not necessarily at that statistical level, but that's the Webster definition of virality.
That's interesting. I didn't actually know that there was like a number associated with it, which is interesting because I've always thought about it as like the numbers get big, but there's also like a cultural discord, like where two people can have a shared experience of this thing that you did. So there's, I don't know if I'm articulating that clearly, but anyways, the idea of going viral, right, is that this thing that you've created or that's happened, lots and lots and lots and lots of people know it, can refer to it. It can be a common cultural point for folks.
Mm-hmm. And there's usually some not always. Obviously, again, if you're talking strictly numbers, that's one thing. But there's usually some kind of discourse, conversation, something else going around what's being posted. I think when we're talking virality, it's not necessarily, I hit 1 million. I think some of it is, it's almost like a wave effect almost, because it's not just you. Like you may have had the jumping off point for going viral, but I think usually when that happens, it permeates to other users as well.
Well, it's the shareability of it, that people want to share it, talk about it, pass it on, so that it's grown outside of it. It's had exponential growth that you can no longer control or keep track of.
And I think outside your network.
Yeah,
outside of your network. Yeah.
And it could be positive or it could be negative, right? Things go viral for multiple reasons. I also want to point out it's not a new thing. Back in the day, they used to say like everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame. Like this concept of virality, this is the modern like technological version of it, but it has existed throughout time in different ways. So this isn't like brand new in any way.
Even if you want to take it from like a social media,
right?
Even if you just want to look at that timeline, like you were on MySpace, you know what going viral means. If you were, whether it's even AIM sometimes. Okay, so yeah, like virality is not this new concept that just came about in the TikTok era.
Right. No, definitely not in the TikTok era. Okay, so how does one go viral?
Right. So before I explain like going viral, my personal definition of going viral is if you're reaching more people than you have following. Now, not necessarily from like I have 1,000 followers and 1,001 people saw it, so now I've gone viral. It's usually I have X amount of followers and the amount of impressions and likes and stuff like that has exceeded what I'm usually seeing on my timeline. It doesn't necessarily have to be this like infinite, I have 1 million impressions. Obviously, that's like exponential growth and virality and stuff like that. But if you have 500 followers and over 10,000 people saw something that you posted, I personally believe that's a version of going viral.
So like if I had 10 followers and 20 people saw me, you would consider that going viral?
Maybe not in that regard, just because I think in your like in that specific individual's pocket, sure. But I like when you're, I don't know, I'm saying if you have like maybe 10 to 20, if you're reaching 100 people or something like that. But like, that's a good point, because if you're reaching double the people that are following you,
so that's an interesting thing, Sto, because I think part of it is what you're talking about is that there's like levels to going viral, and
right.
not all going viral is the same. So there's like viral where you're breaking out of your followership, but then there's viral where like your niche really knows you, right? There's things that like only Black Twitter will know about, but it hasn't gone viral in like white spaces, or there's like that kind of cultural, socio-political. And then there's virality that like everyone and their mom can make a reference to it and understands the joke. And then there's like, so there's levels and degrees of viral. And I think that's an important point, because what you can do with the virality will change depending on kind of where you're at potentially. That's interesting. I'd never actually thought about it that way, but it makes sense.
Right. And so I think in that regard, I don't think there's this, I don't know. I mean, this conversation has gone on since the beginning of time, since artistry even began. How do I get seen by more people? How do I blow up? How do I go viral? And especially the viral thing, where it's like, yo, if you were on Twitter or Facebook in the beginning, like this is not a new conversation. People have been trying to force their way to being viral for a really long time. And so our best advice, go ahead. No, you go first.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to jump ahead because it's like, why do people want to go viral? Everyone thinks that if they go viral, it's going to be the magic moment. All I got to do is make the one song to go viral, and ta-da! And y'all have heard me say this before. Make a song, put it on the internet is not a business plan. Make a song, put it on the internet, hope and pray that it goes viral.
Right. That's what y'all be doing out here.
And so like, people will do things where they follow trends, or they get gimmicky, or they become, they focus on like becoming content creators rather than creatives or art. Not that content creators aren't creative, but it's not the same.
Another episode.
But that's not a plan. That's not a strategy. And it doesn't actually, most times, it doesn't give you the outcome that you think you're going to get. Right. So you think you're going to go viral and like 100,000 people have seen your work now, and all of a sudden you're going to become famous and sell out stadiums and have all these fans. And so many other things need to happen, and so many other things need to be in place for that to actually happen. Because people go, like, to be really honest, people go viral all the time.
All the time. Yep.
Look at how many Instagram reels or TikToks you're watching. And I'm going like this because we just scroll and we're like, oh yeah, I've seen that like 4 times already this week. But does it convert you into curiosity? Does it convert you into being a fan? Most of the time, no, because we're so used to consuming. So I know I'm like jumping the gun a little bit, but I want people to really hear that going viral isn't always the solution that you think it is. Hate to break it to you.
And I'm gonna go a step further and say it is not the solution. Because chances are, and especially as we start sharing this episode, some of you have already gone viral, and you've seen you've had the numbers come through, you've had the likes, the retweets, you've gotten destroyed by randoms on social media, but I'm also kind of betting that the needle hasn't moved the way that you thought it was when you went viral. And so part of it is, like, first off, I think when someone does go viral, it's not this calculated, planned move. The majority of people that are going viral, it's not like, unless they've actually caught on to a trend or whatever, like, there's no, okay, on this date, we're going to post and we're going to make sure that we get 1 million impressions and we're definitely going to go viral. And then when that happens, we're going to be flown out by Jay-Z and we're going to make sure we sign this deal. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. Both me and Nora have gone viral, like, multiple times over the course of our career. And so my personal opinion is making sure you have strategies ready to go for when you inevitably go viral so that you can capitalize on it. Because I see way too many of you going viral, getting super hype, trying to chase that same feeling again, not hitting that same feeling, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm falling off. Like, I'm not releasing music fast enough, or I'm not putting enough this, that, or the other. Like, no, like, capitalize on that window of you going viral. Don't just, and we're going to get into this in a second, but there's a billion things that you can do to take advantage of going viral so that you see the growth that you want to see. Like, I can't remember when this was, but this whole trend of Twitter, do your thing, like sweat the app, and people keep thinking that that's what causes change and stuff like that. It looks cool when you're scrolling through the app, but then when you go back and sit down and try to figure out, okay, I got over 100,000 impressions and views and stuff like that. Nothing's changed, and now you're mad.
So I want to break all of that down, right, and highlight what Serial Sensei is saying is that it's a quick rise, but it's also a quick fall, because someone else is going to come and be viral and take that attention from you. So one thing you said, Sto, was about, like, you go viral once and you want to keep chasing that high. And so then it becomes about going viral again, rather than connecting with fans, building relationships, networking with peers, like selling what you need to sell. And so it's really, you got to be really careful about falling into that trap. So that's one. The other thing is, you're talking, like, a view is not the same thing as an actual engagement, is not the same thing as conversion. So we talked about, like, scale of going viral, but there's also, like, depth of going viral. 100 people can click and watch your video, but does that mean that they actually remembered it? Does that mean that they engage? So part of this is having things in place, and this is what Sto is, I think, you're trying to get at, is when you start to go viral, where are you going to direct people to so that you can keep them in your ecosystem even after the viral moment changes? So this is things like making sure you have, dare I say it, a website where they can go and learn more about you.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. She said that thing.
You have a newsletter that they can sign up for where they can keep in touch with you. Or you have interesting content. I see this with musicians all the time. They have one song, the song goes viral. Then someone's like, all right, well, let me find more music. And then there isn't more music. Or the rest of the music is not up to that level of expectation, creativity, whatever. And so then you become a one-hit viral wonder.
Right.
And so making sure that if you do end up going viral, the real key is to have all your infrastructure, systems, processes in place so that you can, as we've talked about, capitalize, convert, capture, and not even in that order.
Right. And my bad, y'all, I was trying to get these tweets out. So like Nora said, it's about being ready for when you do go viral. And to be clear, I want to make this so abundantly clear. That does not mean simply posting your song link below the viral or the tweet that just went viral. I swear, if I see that one more time, I'm going to throw my laptop out the window. That does nothing for anyone, especially given the fact that old Muskie over here has changed how threads work in the algorithm. So while you think you're oh yeah, this next link, like people are just gonna go right, they're gonna watch this viral video and then go right to the link. It very, very rarely works like that. And it very rarely shows up on the timeline like that. So when you go viral, there's so many other things that you can be doing besides just retweeting and liking every single person that posts that up. Now, granted, you should be doing that. That's a given. That's like Twitter 2007 rules, okay? Like,
I want people to hear that. You should be engaging with people who are engaging with your content. And that's true whether or not you go viral.
Exactly.
But make sure if you're using Twitter, you're quote tweeting some of the reactions and resharing. If you're on Instagram, making sure you're commenting and maybe sometimes following up with people in the DMs if there's something like juicy there that can lead to a networking opportunity. Or if you're on, I don't know, whatever other platform. But I just want to make sure people hear that, because we say this every other episode. You should be engaging with the people who are engaging with you. And that's an engagement means more than here's a couple emojis, here's my link. Although your link should be accessible and easy to find.
Right, exactly. And you know, if you're putting your link in your bio and stuff like that, they're gonna run into it anyway. So throwing it again in the post that just went viral, like, is a dash redundant. But the other part of going viral that I think is very important. Yeah.
Sorry, because I actually disagree with that a little bit. I think that if I come across a viral tweet, I don't always go look at the person's profile, but I will often look at the comments and the conversation that's happening around the profile. So you can kind of hedge your bets by putting a link to your website, one link, not a million links.
Right.
Your link tree or your newsletter or your website or your shop or whatever it is you want people to go to. I don't think it hurts to put that in your first tweet under, because the way people consume, that's easy. They're going to see your tweet. They're going to see the content.
Right.
So I just want to throw that out there as an alternative point of view, because you can't always trust that someone's going to watch the tweet or see if I'm like scrolling on Instagram, for example, right? I'm on my explore page and it's showing me like dogs doing jujitsu and I see something really cute. I'm just going to keep scrolling, even if I see something that's gone viral. So you want to make it as easy as possible for people to follow up with you and engage. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you're right about like the algorithm.
Oh, I just mean relying on it solely. You know what I mean?
Yes, it should be part of a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm. And so like, right. Like, so I'm not saying to never put your link under there like that, like definitely do that, but also do other things, because they're not always going to take that step in the right direction. And so the only other thing I wanted to mention is like, reply back to the people that are sharing your work. It really confuses the hell out of me when artists are like, I want to go viral, but I'm also not going to talk to anybody that replies to my stuff. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that it's such a, like, once you've gone viral, like, it's kind of a slow pitch home run if you're willing to put in that work. But I think artists get so wrapped up in numbers. How do I fucking top this? I got to do another song or else I'm going to fall off and stuff like that. So the only other thing I say is take the next step and get in them DMs. They respond, like, you've already been given enough signals kind of that they're at least interested in what you're doing. And so reaching out in the DMs to be like, hey, thanks for sharing that. Any chance I can get an email? Hey, thanks for even supporting or whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think it depends. So right now when you said it, right, if I like comment on your post and then you slide in my DMs and be like, thank you, can I get an email?
I mean,
like you said that right now.
Out a whole message. I can't say a whole message right now.
No, but like to lead with an ask right away, I think I'm more of, to me, that could come off a little spammy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I get, okay. I gave the Reader's Digest version of that, I guess. Okay. So,
because, I have a thing about spam, and recently, I have a thing about spam. So I think I want people to, like, yes, you should build relationships and engage with your audience. But I also think that and DMs is a great place to build that relationship. But if you jump from, hey, thanks, to, hey, I'm asking you for something yet again, or I might not even have remembered that I commented on your post because I'm consuming so much content in a day, right? You really have to remember how your audience is engaging with stuff. So I would focus on, obviously, interact with your audience. Save the DMs for high quality interaction, for someone who like really engaged or shared, or so that you can build quality interactions and have a quality conversation with someone who's already shown that they're willing to do work behind you. And so I think part of the thing about virality is it creates a sense of immediacy and urgency. And I got to do it right now. And I have to capitalize on this moment or else it's going to go away. But relationship building takes time, and building fans takes time. So that's the balancing act, and how to do it in a way without being spammy or asking for too much, or, you know, expecting people to automatically want to become, expecting people to be fans already, when all they really did was see a video or saw a tweet or watched something and they were like, oh, cool, I like it. So, and that's, so I just want people to be really mindful of that as we're having that conversation, because it can also backfire, and you could end up alienating folks who were engaging with you.
Right. So yeah, what I gave was essentially the Reader's Digest version. Like, for the love of God, please don't just be like, thanks, can I get an email? Like, please don't do that. Like, but there are ways to look at who's engaging and who's sharing, and kind of saying, okay, like if all they're doing is sharing and putting a fire emoji, yeah, maybe don't DM them. Like, there's really no substance there. But if they actually are like, yo, they're doing this, they're doing that, I like this, I like that, like they're showing that they're a bit more invested than just your average social media user. So, and again, there are ways to strike up conversation to then lead to an email. I'm not like, definitely, for the love of God, don't just hop in and be like, hey, can you listen to all my music and run up the numbers and all this stuff? Like, that's one of the easiest ways to push people away. But if you're genuinely coming as your authentic self, and I think if you're genuinely trying to build something, people recognize that. And we've talked about this before too. It's like, if you're trying so hard to go viral, if you're trying so hard to pretend, or not pretend, but like put out this artist persona that you think people want to see, like, your fans and casual people can see right through that. No one wants to feel like that. But if you come genuinely and are genuinely appreciative and want to build something, like, people will notice that, and they'll gladly hand over an email and stuff like that to get that exclusivity or to build that relationship with you.
Okay, here's something I don't think gets talked about a lot. And I don't know, this could be just unique to me. It's really overwhelming to go viral sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so like,
and I don't think artists understand that either sometimes.
So can we talk about that a little bit? Because even sometimes I come and I have like more than 10 notifications and I'm like, like it's overwhelming. And then to go viral and you have so many people talking at you, and people love it and they hate it and they critique, like, how do you suggest art? Like, and we talk a lot about self-care in this work because it's such an important part. What's that relationship between going viral and managing your like mental health and self-care?
Right. So there's a couple things going on here, because that amount of notifications will make me cut off my phone. Hey, yo, the mute button, the mute this conversation button is one of your best friends. I'd be doing that all the time. Because here's the thing, like, you know, again, as people in the music industry, we get people all the time. I want to go viral. I want to go viral. I want to go viral. But there's another side to going viral, that it's not all just, oh, yo, this is sick. Oh, yo, like, and honestly, prime example are the two Flana Boss girls. They're a prime example of a duo that went viral, and there are so many people. They're industry plants. Why are they doing the same thing over and over again? I'm tired of hearing this song. And so they're getting views and they're getting sponsorships and deals, but there's also a dark, twisted, like very fucked up side of that. And so part of that is, first off, part of it is understanding and having like that's, I guess, strength within yourself to understand, like, people that are going to come negative and stuff like that, they don't know you. They haven't even like met you. So it can be really easy to see what people are saying on the internet and taking that to heart, especially the negative stuff. I don't know how psychology works. I got my degree in sociology, so it's a completely different sector.
Oh, it's true.
But
we remember the negative things more than we remember the positive things, which is why you should have a shine page and write down the positive things and celebrate them, so you can fact check the thoughts that over amplify the negative things.
I'm just going to say real quick, I know some of you out there need to write a shine page. It sounds corny, it sounds difficult, but it is important for times where you think that things are going wrong. You can go back, open up the book, and see what you've already accomplished. Some of you are watching this right now. Make a shine page. Anyway.
What that is, go to my link tree and there's information on it right there.
Bingo. So a lot of going viral and stuff like that, you have to, you're balancing two different things. There's going to be people who don't like it. There's going to be people who love it. And so part of it also is muting people that are spewing that negative stuff. It can be really, and listen. Both me and Nora have gone viral. I know I personally, I used to be a person that's like, all right, that's it. I'm replying to every single hater that I've ever seen. I can't believe it. But they don't even know who you are. So there's this little thing called the mute button or the block button, and you can Dikembe Mutombo their ass out of here, okay? So there's no need to really get yourself wrapped up in that, especially if you're seeing the positive sides, because that's where your energy should be going.
I think that's an important thing is we talk a lot about you should respond to everybody. You don't actually have to respond to everybody. And you can decide I posted a comment about some people who were shitting on Lauryn Hill for how she performs. And, it was rooted in all this kind of patriarchy. And so I was like, me, I'm going to call out patriarchy when I see it. And the responses that I got, overwhelming, were people that supported it and liked it. And then there were people who talked to me as if I was stupid and that as if I didn't know music. I have some energy to engage with that. The first comment, the second comment.
Right.
Y'all can talk to yourself.
Right.
You can pick and choose what you engage and don't engage with. So, because I think part of what virality triggers for people is the FOMO, or the sense of if I don't respond to this now, I'm going to miss my chance and I will forever, which one is why we want you to be prepared. Because if you do the preparation work, when that viral moment comes, boom, you could take advantage of it. It's activate your powers and just fly. So you don't have to worry about scrambling, right? So being prepared is going to take you so much further. But then it also gives you space to be this stuff I'm not dealing with. This I'm going to so that you can put your limited time, energy, attention, resources, emotion to things that will move you forward rather than things that are going to trigger your anxiety or stress you out or keep you. And it's okay if you don't respond to your virality right away in that second. Take a breath. It's okay. Look at it. Be dang, 400 notifications. I'm going to come back to this after I take a nap or eat my lunch or go for a run. It's going to be there. And while people have short attention spans, it's not that short. So, yes, it's a fleeting moment, right? Quick rise, quick fall, but you can still set some control over it. And so allow yourself to be in charge of the virality rather than letting the virality kind of take over you and what you're doing, especially if you have long-term plans for the industry, because this is part of your bigger mental health picture.
Mm-hmm. And listen, it is okay if you don't go viral over and over and over and over and over again. It is pretty much virtually impossible to make that happen. And so that's why I think it's important to take advantage when it does happen. And then to literally it's just about being yourself. I think once you start trying to force yourself to hit these certain milestones on views, and that's the other part I completely forgot to mention, is that you can't control whether or not you go viral. The algorithm is not all right, let's see here. There's no way to if we had a formula for that, we wouldn't even be talking right now.
Literally, I don't know if the algorithm has changed, but when TikTok first started, it allowed almost everybody to have a moment of virality because it creates this high. And then you're oh, I went viral on TikTok. So then people keep
using it.
Platform, chasing that thing, right? So we forget, we talk about the algorithms all the time, but they're literally controlling our human behavior, right? It's like we've been trained to behave in certain ways. And so going viral kind of mimics that same thing of like, okay, now I got to chase this high and get to that point. So you've got to be really mindful of catching it for yourself and you being in charge of how you're using social media rather than the other way around.
Exactly. Oh, damn, right on cue. Let's go.
I was just gonna say 30 minutes, boom. Y'all, this is Office Hours. I'm Nora. This is Sto. We're here every other week. This is episode 68. We've got a ton of episodes that cover everything from mental health. Our next episode, we're talking about festivals. Then we have an episode coming up about how to find a good and effective manager, which I think a lot of you need to hear.
I'm not gonna like that one.
We're going to talk about toxic fandom, which is going to be a very interesting conversation. But we're here with a ton of resources for you. If you want to support our work, follow me, follow Sto, drop a little money in the Cash App or the Venmo. Links to everything is in the bottom, which I promise you I share with Sto. It's coming to my account, but I promise you we share. And let us know in the comments, what your struggle with virality, what was your experience, any other questions you have, and any future episodes you want to see, because we're here to make this content for you. So tell us what would be helpful to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, hit the like button. We appreciate y'all coming back after our little hiatus. We're just getting started. We've got some really cool episodes coming up, some stuff that we just somehow have not covered yet. Yo, drink some water. Honestly, drink some water, because there's a heat wave. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But stay hydrated out here. Get your stretch in and stuff like that. Yo, also take some time to rest. Like that is part of the grind. Okay, I know we're supposed to work, but it's time to rest. Okay, get a newsletter, get a goddamn website. We'll be back soon. Leave a comment on when you've gone viral, because I know you have. All right, we're out of here.
Bye.